Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on the Gaming Gig Podcast, we're talking about, is there even a reason for a PS5 Pro?
That's right, Daniel, we're getting a PS5 Pro apparently. It's happening this year, but the question is, why?
I don't know.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of things today on the podcast. First thing I'd like to talk about is how you and I kind of look like hell warmed over right now. Mm-hmm. We look like crap.
Yeah, you look like crap.
No, me and Daniel both got very sunburnt, so you may notice that on our faces.
Yeah, my arms. I don't have my watch on right now, so I've got like...
You got a band.
I got like hella like farmer's tan on my wrist.
Oh, if I didn't have this long sleeve shirt on, my arm is rosy red. So yeah, yesterday we were playing a gig outside and we stood in the sun. It wasn't even hot. It was breezy, felt great.
It was a great day. Very beautiful.
Get back at the end of the day and we are just roasted.
Mm-hmm. I am not loving it.
Well,
I did not love it last night. I am not loving it today.
No. Well, give us a couple days and we'll be repaired.
We will.
First thing for real that I want to talk about gaming related, did you see the Hellblade II photo mode images that Ninja Theory posted?
I did. You showed me one yesterday, and then I went and looked at the rest of them today, and they're very pretty. It looks very, very graphical.
Very, very graphical. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the photo mode, and photo mode sometimes does have a little bit of magic.
Yep.
You know, so it looks better generally in photo mode than the actual game does. Mm-hmm. We've seen some trailers and stuff. I thought that a couple of these photos, which I am now showing, I'm sure, do look really great. I think they look awesome, personally. You know that Hellblade 2 is probably my most anticipated game this year. If not the most, at least one of the top few most anticipated games of this year.
And it must be hard to anticipate a game when you don't know when it's coming.
No, it's coming out. Now, the release date, I was wrong when we talked about it last time.
They did give you a date?
Yeah, I think it's
What's the date?
I think it's in May. I'm not sure. Because I saw these on X, Twitter. Zitter, you said last week. Ninja Theory posted, and I was going through their timeline, just looking at old stuff they posted, and they totally had posted the release date. I want to say it was like May something.
May 21st, 2024.
May 21st. So yeah, we do have a release date on this. So
I'm surprised you don't have that in your calendar.
I need to. So I'm super excited about it. So we put out a poll asking what people thought about these shots from the photo mode. And hit us with the results there, Danny boy.
Well, at 19%, people said, finally, a game that looks next gen. At 50%, people said, looks good. It's about what I expected. At 18%, people said, they look okay. Nothing crazy. And at 13%, they said, I'm not impressed at all. These photos have no integrity.
I just put this poll out a few hours ago.
Small sample size.
Yeah, small sample size. Are they about what I expected? Yeah, but actually, at the same time, I think they look pretty dang good. I
think they look excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm ready to just be like, based on a few screenshots, be like, this is so next gen. Mm-hmm. I just don't know that I'm ready for that. Like, I feel like you could have done something like this from Alan Wake. Like, Alan Wake 2 looks super good.
But Alan Wake 2 used a lot of real life, not in-game renderings. It was, they mixed video, like real video, and this is all in-game.
Right. So
I don't think you could have pulled off something like this from the in-game engine Alan Wake 2.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to reserve judgment. I think it looks excellent, but I've seen 4 screenshots. So right. I don't know that I can be like, finally, next gen is here. Although it's about damn time.
Well, there is a conversation to be had there about, like we've talked about it a few times, but I think probably off podcast recently, me and you were talking about how like it just doesn't seem like we've gotten like a big shift this generation. It seems like each generation is smaller and smaller steps. Mm-hmm. And this one from the PS4, Xbox One to the Xbox Series to PS5 seems like the smallest jump overall that we've ever seen in terms of like what type of games.
Easily. But I mean, that's what you see in technology. I mean, that makes sense. Like you've seen the same thing in phones over the past several years. Like there ain't a whole lot of difference, but in the past like 3 iPhones. So like It's just going to happen as tech gets better and better.
Until we see something that is able to make the next step happen. And it does seem like AI seems to be the new thing that they're trying to leverage. And we'll get to that in a minute when we talk about the PS5 Pro.
For sure.
Because that seems to be a big aspect of the PS5 Pro is leveraging AI. As is a lot of things that are going on right now. That seems to be the big innovation in tech right now is trying to leverage AI in any way possible. So.
For sure. But we do have a comment here from D1 Usions of Grandeur who said, looks great and can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, and this is obviously in reference to Hellblade 2. And you know what really made me think about how, like this does look phenomenal, but I recently replayed Hellblade, the first Hellblade game, and I played it on stream and gosh, I was like, this looks phenomenal. It looks just as good as some of the best PS5 games. And I was playing the PS5. There's not a PS5 version of it. I was just playing the stock PS4 game. And it looks so good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's awesome. I hope the new one looks even better.
You need to play the first one, Daniel. It's only a few hours long.
I did play it.
You played the whole game?
No, I'm just kidding. I just want to see Randy's
I was like, you didn't play it. You need to. It's only a few hours long, and it's really good. It's a really great game.
I do need to play it.
Yeah.
I want to play it.
Play it before May 21st so that you can be ready for the sequel.
I don't know, man. On May 9th, Animal Well's coming out.
Animal Well, that's the donkey.
That's the donkey game.
Donkey game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm excited about that.
I'm going to definitely play Animal Well.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It just looks like my kind of vibe.
Yeah, it looks great. For those of you who are not sure about what this is, Donkey, like Video Game Donkey, the YouTuber, started a publishing company, and the first game that's being published under his publishing company, which I think is called Big Mode,
I think that's it,
is Animal Well.
Yep.
I'm super excited about it.
And I don't know at all. Like I said, I really don't know. It looks like some sort of side-scrolling thing, but
it's got an adventure sort of thing.
It looks very colorful, and it's going to look great on an OLED Steam Deck. That's my prediction.
Super vibey. Dark colors.
Yeah.
Dark colors. It'll look great on an OLED.
Yeah, it's going to look great.
All right. So, you ready to move on and talk about Payday?
More than ready.
So, Payday 3 is a game.
We played that game.
We did play that game.
More than once.
And in fact, I enjoyed Payday 3. We obviously got off of it fairly quick. It didn't hook us enough for us to keep playing it, but I think what we played, we enjoyed.
By all accounts, I had a great time. I didn't understand it all the time.
Right.
But we didn't play Payday 2.
We've never played either of the Paydays.
And we didn't exactly spend a lot of time in the learning phase. We just kind of booted that crap up, got into a game together, and started streaming, you know. So there were game mechanics that we never figured out.
No.
But overall, I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I did too. And so I was really confused to see so much pushback against Payday 3 from the Payday 2 community specifically.
Right.
But still, Payday 3 is a better looking game.
It is.
But
similar.
Very similar. Yeah, a very similar looking, and a very similar game, but it apparently has a lot less content.
Yeah.
But anyways, the reason we're talking about Payday 3 is that it's not done well at all. In fact, it has dropped down to where the average Steam players is as low as just a couple hundred, maybe even 130 players minimum.
That's rough.
It's gone down really, really low. Payday 2 has players 85 times higher than Payday 1. There's this really sad chart.
That is a really sad chart.
That shows Payday 3 had a spike when it first launched, and people were
for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then it dropped hard. It just sank.
And then for some reason around late November to early mid-December, there were a couple of very small spikes. Maybe people decided to give it a second chance. And then we've just been bottoming out ever since. That is a sad chart.
That is sad.
Is that on screen right now?
Yeah, it's been on screen.
That's a sad chart, people.
Yeah. It really is. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple things to consider. One, this is on Steam, and I do think that the majority of people who are playing Payday may not be playing it through Steam, and the reason I say that is because it was Game Pass day one.
Right, and we didn't. We played it through Game Pass.
We played it through Game Pass. So whether you're playing it on PC, and I know probably the bulk audience for Payday probably is playing on PC, but those PC people know that it's available on Game Pass, so they're going to play it through the Xbox. They're not going to be playing it through Steam.
Yeah, so maybe we double this. Maybe it has 200 to 300 players.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Steam is, what I'm saying is Steam is probably one of the lower, like they're probably playing it via the Xbox store, or they're playing it on Xbox. That's probably where the bulk of people are playing it, but still it probably is super, super low.
If we 10 times the number,
Yeah.
it's still really low.
It's still really low.
This reminds me of when Gears 5 came out, which is a while back. But Gears 4, like, at least for me, was like hot. I loved Gears 4. And then Gears 5 dropped, and I was so disappointed. And I know that the Horde community, which is the only game that I played, was like, screw this. Like, I'm going to keep playing Gears 4, you know? And that happened for a while before they kind of brought more content to 5. And this is exactly what that reminds me of.
It's exactly what it is. You know, people have stuck with. You see, there's been hardly any dip in Payday 2. It's just kept going.
Super consistent.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Maybe they should just ditch Payday 3 and update Payday 2.
That, you know, I feel like they really missed an opportunity by not like doing this. It reminds me of Fortnite. Okay, Fortnite did a very quiet transition into Unreal Engine 5.
They did. They shut down for like a day or two or something, and then there you go.
And then they were in Unreal Engine 5. Basically, it became Fortnite 2, you know, but they just transitioned everything there. The problem with Payday 3 is that they moved in, they took away, like, Payday 2 is super, super fully fledged in terms of what type of features it had, how many heists it had, you know, all kinds of stuff. It had been going for years. People don't want to leave that behind.
No, they do not. And I totally understand why. I mean, Payday 3 looked better. It maybe even plays better, but if there's only like 4 modes and you're coming from a full game,
it's
like
super low in terms of content.
What kind of incentive do you have to leave the game you love that you've probably leveled your crap up for and invested time into? Like, I get that.
And it's like, what did they do to move people over into Payday 3 besides it just looking good?
I mean, if they... You know, I was talking to our friend from our friend that we met through Sea of Thieves, Jamie, the other day, like, about, do we ever think there's going to be like a Sea of Thieves 2, or would this game just keep getting updated? And, you know, we pretty much decided they'd probably just keep updating Sea of Thieves. How pissed off would I be if they moved to Sea of Thieves 2 and I lost all my progress?
Yeah.
Like, so, come on, Payday. I mean...
So we put out a poll.
The game's got good bones.
Yeah. Put out a poll asking if people had played Payday 2 or Payday 3, and the numbers were crazy because Payday 2 got 29%. Payday 3 only got 2%.
Well,
9% of people said both, and 60% of people said neither. But looking at what people played, only 2% of people saying they played just Payday 3. That's where we were.
Yeah, the Venn diagram on this would be pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
And the game is done so poorly that they have fired the board of Starbreeze, which is the dev studio, has fired the CEO, basically, you know, saying that they just need new management and that Payday 3 was not handled well. And I don't know. I do think there was probably some bad decisions there. And I guess it's all, you know, the buck's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, and I guess I would rather it be with somebody at the top than at the bottom.
Oh, absolutely.
So, fair enough, I guess. Fair play to you.
All right, you want to read this comment from old Bubby?
Bubby T?
Bubby T.
Bubby T said, I stopped playing it after a day or two on Game Pass, and then the game just got stale. It was the same few heists with little to no difference besides difficulty. Also, why a game with only 8 or 9 heists, including the DLC? Also, why play a game with only 8 or 9 heists, including the DLC, when you can play Payday 2, which has significantly more? Payday 3 had a really tough launch, and the servers weren't working for multiple days in a game that forces you to be online, while in Payday 2, you can play offline. ... Payday 2 also has a way cheaper price tag on nearly everything as well. There's simply no reason to play Payday 3 when Payday 2 exists, besides graphics, I guess?
Yeah, and graphics and everything. This is very well put. Bubby obviously knows about Payday. And speaking the truth here, I mean, like, if Payday 2 is really fully featured and Payday 3 comes in, the only thing it offers, featured?
Fully featured.
Fully featured. No, but Payday 2, if it just doesn't, Payday 3, if it just doesn't have but a couple things to do. Now, we spent a few hours playing it. We probably did those few things that there was to do. And we were like, hey, we enjoyed it, but we never played beyond where it got repetitive. We just never did that.
And we didn't have any experiences with Payday 2 to show us like what we're missing.
Exactly.
So, I feel you, Bubby T.
Yeah. And like the question is how could they have handled it better? You know, what could they have done? I think it was Overwatch. Wasn't it Overwatch who, when they released Overwatch 2, they shut down Overwatch 1? Like it just like, they like took it off?
I think they did. And by Overwatch 2, you mean Overwatch TOO, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was the joke, right? But is Overwatch? It's not free to play, is it? It is free to play. Oh, well, that's different, I guess.
Overwatch is free to play.
Whereas Payday is a paid game, so
Right.
you can't just like rip down a paid game. I guess they could turn the servers off, and you'd have to play it offline.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could. I also know Overwatch. I don't know if that's the best example because people don't love Overwatch 2.
I know. Well, and that shows you how much I know about Overwatch, because I didn't even know if it was a free game or not.
Yeah, I've never played it. I just know that it's free. So I'm about one step ahead of you on Overwatch, I guess.
Yeah.
I know it's free. I know I could play it.
But imagine the people in Payday if they had been like, if they just like shut down the Payday 2 online servers and was like, now you can only play online with Payday 3.
And it wasn't free?
And it's not free, yeah. That would have been bad.
That would have been real dirty.
It would have forced people to move over, I guess.
Yeah.
If they wanted to keep playing with the boys, you know?
Right.
Yikes.
There's something to be said for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Speaking of playing with the boys, you know what really helps people play with the boys, Randy?
What's that?
Being in a common Discord server. And you know, we can facilitate that for you. You should follow the link in the description of this video and join the Gaming Gig Discord server. It's totally awesome.
Yeah, we'd love to have you there. It's a small but really accepting group. I know when I join a new Discord server, I always think like, it always feels weird and very intimidating to like move into a Discord server and like feel like the conversation's been going on. Look, that's not how it is at ours. It's just like people love it when new people come in and they're very welcoming and they love to have new people join the conversation. It's not like, don't feel intimidated. Just come join. It's awesome.
That's right.
All right. And like Daniel said, there's a link in the description.
Heck yeah. Play with the boys.
Okay. All right, Daniel. Let's talk about the Steam versus Epic. So Epic Games is currently going through a little bit of a, I don't know, they're
mad, dude.
They're going through
ill as a hornet.
They're going through some sort of thing with Apple, right? Because of
the EU.
They're trying to get Fortnite back on Apple things, and they pulled out of being on iPhones because Apple wanted to take a huge cut. And so now I don't really know what's going to happen with that.
I don't either. They're trying to put it back on iPhones in the EU.
Yes.
So those of you that are in America, you're not getting your Fortnite mobile back.
But through this whole lawsuit that is going on. Oh wait, no, this is a lawsuit from Valve. I don't know. I need to go back and read the thing.
Emails from Epic CFO part of the lawsuit.
But
Valve's currently fighting.
What this has brought up is that so Epic Games, old Tim Sweeney, he called Valve some a-holes over the Steam platform fees, and this is like just brought up the whole platform fee on PC conversation again because it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I mean, Valve gets a 30% cut, and that's a big cut. Now, they cut you a deal if you're like mega super successful, and I think the best version of that deal is 20%.
Which seems backwards to me.
Yeah.
It seems crazy to me that the better your game does, and you pay less. That means the little guy coming in and you want to produce a game and you're not going to sell that much. You're never going to get to that thing where you're getting more money. You're always going to get 30% of your sales taken
from you.
And Epic does 18%, which is, if you can do math, that's about half. It's a little more than half.
Yeah, it is. And you know, I don't know if Sweeney Tim, you know, because I know Johnny Depp played him in that movie. And like maybe that gave him like the big head or something, but he's, you know, tackling Valve. Valve has this reputation. Like I know they are taking 30%, and they are a company, and they want to make money, and that's the bottom line. But they also have this reputation of being like the ally of the gamer, you know. So I'm afraid that it won't paint Epic in a great light to just like be calling them assholes, even if you may be right. Like I'm not saying you're wrong.
These were old emails. This was not like a current thing. It just kind of came out that this was said. And yeah, well, So I wanted to see, like obviously a lot of people use Steam, but
Yeah.
I use both Steam and Epic.
Me too. When I have to use Epic, I use it.
Right. But I wanted to see, so I put out a poll saying Steam versus Epic Game Store, and yeah, Daniel, go over the results.
There are no surprises to be found here, people. At 94%, people use Steam, and at 6%, people use Epic. That doesn't shock me, and it shouldn't shock you.
I don't know, because like I honestly am kind of surprised. Only 6% of people said Epic. That's just wild to me, because I feel like Epic has a pretty big like footprint in the gaming industry. Like they
have Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
And Epic does so many like free games.
They do.
Like we got this comment here from Depressed Whale who says Epic is only useful for the free games, but the UI is garbage. I don't know that the UI is garbage. I feel like Steam's UI is fine. It's kind of bland, but I mean it works. Maybe Epic's is, I don't know. I
don't know that it's garbage. I do prefer Steam, but I've spent a lot more time in it. Mm-hmm. We got another comment here who I think maybe kind of hits more on it. Angel says Steam has held the monopoly for PC gaming for a long, long time, and I doubt that will change. Epic is all right as a substitute for when a certain game may be on sale, but overall Steam is a better experience. I think that kind of sums up the way people feel about it. Steam's been around a long time. Mm-hmm. They've been running sick sales for a long time. Yeah. Epic runs sales too, and they give you free games all the time. Mm-hmm. But are they giving away the games you want to play for free?
Sometimes.
But not a lot of the time, Randy.
Sometimes.
Not a lot of the time, buddy.
Sometimes.
Steam is like constantly running some sort of sale. And, I mean, you can find discounts on big games. I mean, you really can.
Oh, you can find great discounts. You really can.
You jump on Steam right now, you're in the spring sale. And you can find a bunch of crap.
I wonder how much of it comes down to it just, it's just been around the longest and they kind of have a monopoly on it. As you can see from our poll that showed 94% of people use Steam.
I think that's probably the biggest contributor.
Got to be, right?
Yeah.
Got to be that it's just, once you're that big, it's really hard for someone else to come in. But we do see competition. I'd say that there's probably more competition from the Xbox store, if I had to guess, than Epic.
Oh, I don't hardly ever use that anymore. But I would if I had to.
Well, the reason I say that is because Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I think Game Pass is pretty big on PC, and it's growing on PC.
For sure.
So I'd say that if I was like just pure volume, because I think most of the volume to Epic probably comes from like Fortnite and Rocket League.
Yeah.
So once you take those games away, I'm thinking like Steam obviously is going to be the big one, but I do think that the Xbox Game Store is probably second in line. I think probably more than Epic, but I'm saying that as no data, just purely based on what I feel, and it's purely based on Game Pass for PC.
Are there any of these like big PlayStation games that go to PC that don't go to Epic? Like Final Fantasy, like I'm pretty sure it's on Steam and Epic. What about Last of Us Part 1 or Rift Apart? Like, can you get those on either store?
I don't know.
Pick one?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because I've not bought any of those because I've had them on
PlayStation. Because if those
games
games are going to only Steam, then that's another huge win.
Why would they put them only on Steam when they get a better cut on Epic?
I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure I've seen Final Fantasy Remake listed on the Epic store.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm just trying to spitball here.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you have a good point there. I mean, it's a good point.
Thanks. My point that wasn't real?
Well, I mean, like, if it was real, It would have been a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, let's talk about something now that you and I are both, it's very near and dear to our hearts, and that is Sea of Thieves. And speaking of PlayStation, as you were just a moment ago, we know that Sea of Thieves is coming to PlayStation very soon.
Yes, Lord.
And what's crazy is that a few days ago, when it was available to be pre-ordered, Sea of Thieves was at the very top of the pre-order charts on PlayStation, which is very weird to see.
I'd like to say I'm confused. I'd like to say I am confused. I'd like to say I'm surprised. But I'm not surprised because PlayStation gamers are smart people, and they know that they are about to get a bona fide certified banger. Good on you for pre-ordering that hell of a game. And I will see you on the seas, you bunch of swabbies.
Oh, it's going to be good. So many swabbies are going to be coming in, flooding Sea of Thieves.
I cannot wait. And every one of you, you're going to have a microphone built into your controller, and you better use it, okay? Mics save lives.
They do. They really do. Sea of Thieves is such an amazing game. If you are a PlayStation gamer and you're thinking about checking out Sea of Thieves, I would absolutely recommend it.
Yes.
We put out a poll to see what people were interested in. Daniel, how about you hit us with that poll?
Well, at 9%, people said yes.
Wait, you didn't even say what the poll was.
You told the people we put out a poll gauging if they wanted to pick up Sea of Thieves.
Do you plan on picking up Sea of Thieves on PlayStation?
Did I imagine that you said something like that?
Maybe you
we
did.
asked the Gaming Gig Faithful, do you plan on picking up Sea of Thieves on PlayStation? We had 3.4 thousand votes in this particular poll that was posted 6 days ago. And at 9%, we had yes. At 10%, we had maybe, I ain't sure yet. At 48%, people said no, I'm not interested right now. And at 34%, people said no, I don't have a PS5. Leave me alone. Well, this is weird that it's number one. You know, it was sitting at the top of the pre-order charts there, but then people are like, no.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. I love it when we get results like this.
Yeah, it's like it was, and I did check because this was when this first launched. I want to say it was like not quite a week ago. It was a handful of days ago is when it became available to pre-order, and it was number one on the charts. I checked again this morning to see where it was, and it had moved down to number 5.
Okay.
So
That's still respectable.
It is moving down, but it's still weird to see Sea of Thieves, a Microsoft developed and published game on the PlayStation Store sitting in the, like the top. It's just, it feels surreal.
I'm so happy about it. I cannot even tell you. I'm so excited to get a flood of new players. We played Sea of Thieves do you know how long we played Sea of Thieves, Randy? Do you know how long I got this guy to play Sea of Thieves? 5.5 hours. We played Sea of Thieves. We streamed the whole thing. Randy was there the whole time.
I was.
That's a testament to the game that you guys are about to be able to play.
And it's the only game that I can play for that many hours. There's something about it. There's something about it. But not everyone loves it. We have a comment from Grain in the second 7-1 who said, tried it on PC, but the game had nothing but cosmetics, no ship upgrades or anything interesting. So we all just moved on to a different game.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Grain, the second 71, because that's the best part of the game. So let me explain why. The best thing about Sea of Thieves is that when you load into the game and you get your first ship and the whole sea is your oyster, you are on an even playing field as the person who has 20,000 hours in that game and nothing left to buy. You know, you do not do any less damage. Your ship doesn't go any slower. It doesn't turn any worse. It is all about how you manage your gameplay. That's all it is. And it's all cosmetics. Anything you buy is purely cosmetic. I personally love that. I understand some people don't because they want to grind and feel like they're improving.
They're going to get better stuff.
Better stuff.
And you cannot, no matter how much you play, you will never get better stuff.
Now, better is an interesting choice of words there because I just have to adjust the way I think about it in Sea of Thieves. And I just think about better means cool looking. That's how I think about it. It doesn't mean
cooler looking stuff.
You do get cooler looking stuff. And that's just the way I think about it. I think, wow, that gun looks awesome. I want it. I don't think, wow, that gun has more DPS.
Yeah, it's got no difference at all.
That gun has exploding bullets. Shout out to Helldivers.
Yeah. It may seem like some of the stuff, is different, but it really is not. No matter how crazy different it looks, it's really the exact same.
There used to be these sails, these mythical sails called the Dark Adventure sails. And they had this little cutout at the bottom. And you could see slightly better when you were at full sail. And they cost like $1 billion gold. And that was like the only thing in the game that gave anybody an advantage. And now they don't even have that little cutout anymore.
Yeah, they fixed it. Because they realized, like, hey, this is the one thing in the game where you really can grind and get a slight upgrade from everyone else. And you have an advantage with it, even if it was slight. And then they took that out. And I'm glad they did. I'm honestly glad. I was tired of seeing every high-level player using those.
Yeah, and I don't even think they look that cool, especially when everybody's using them.
Yeah.
Because you want to be unique in Sea of Thieves,
Right. And it really made it so that, like, the meta was that once you had the DA sales, you use the DA sales because they gave you a slight advantage.
Right.
Which is really stupid. But
Yeah.
so I'm glad they got rid of it.
Me too. We got another comment here from Ostrava who said, I have so many fond memories of PC SOT. Me and my buddies made it to Pirate Legend, Guardian of Athena's Fortune, and 100%ed all the Tall Tales back in high school. I only play on console now, and Sea of Thieves is one of the few Xbox exclusives that I was really bummed to be missing out on. The adventure continues.
And it's gotten really good too. I mean,
sure has.
it's gotten, I think Sea of Thieves is in the best shape it's been. We just got easy anti-cheat, which I think is a little bit of a double-edged sword. At least it feels that way.
It sure has increased the queue times for PvP, hasn't it?
It seems to have. I mean, like, this is some redneck math.
We're not the only ones on the internet saying it, buddy.
Okay, but it feels like now that they have an anti-cheat software to get in and do the PvP, which is the more competitive side of Sea of Thieves, which is
There's
optional.
a queue system for it and everything.
It used to be that you could get in and you could have a match done really quick. You know, you could just match up and play. But now there's an anti-cheat. It feels like you just go in and you just sit and wait to be queued up with someone else who wants to play.
How bizarre.
So our redneck math is that the people who are doing this were using some sort of cheats, which it's the only part of the game where you'd even really be incentivized to cheat would be in this.
Yes. And the thing about it, you know, the PvP cheaters, the Hourglass cheaters, like, they're not teleporting. You know, they're not using stuff like that that's going to get them immediately flagged as a cheater and banned. Or why are they playing Hourglass? They're using those subtle cheats. You know, the cheats where you're like, damn, this ship has good cannons. Almost too good.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, we've already sank.
You notice they shot 2 shots and they both hit our 2 masts. Very first shots.
Yeah.
That feels like, man, they have good aim.
But I have run into the most blatant cheater I ever ran into was in adventure mode, and he was just teleporting around the ship. It was ridiculous. But yeah, so the game is in a really good spot content wise, and adding anti-cheat is fantastic. But there are a lot of bugs right now. I think it needs a real serious like bug fixing update. But I'm sure Rare's working on it because they know this game's going to PlayStation. They want it to look good and be good and play good. So I'm sure they're going to fix it. I'm excited.
All right, we're going to move on and talk about the PS5 Pro. But before we do it, I want to tell you guys about our Twitch. We've mentioned earlier that we play Twitch, and one of the games we play on Twitch a lot is Sea of Thieves. Right now, we stream most nights of the week. We sometimes take off Wednesdays. We often take off Fridays and Saturdays because that's when we're playing gigs.
That's when we're getting sunburned.
Yeah, but most of the time, otherwise, at around 8 p.m. Eastern, we play on Twitch. So come hang out with us. It's a really good time. We'll be playing Sea of Thieves a lot, but we mix in other things. Like on Sundays, we play Guess the Game.
You need to come play Guess the Game. That crap is popping off.
It's fun.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's probably going to be the most popping off just chatting stream on Twitch tonight.
Could be.
And
It's
by
super
tonight,
fun.
I mean yesterday.
Yeah, because the podcast comes out the next day. You'll be behind. But this upcoming Sunday, come play Guess the Game with us.
Yeah.
But yes, so you remember that PS5 Pro leak thing that happened a while back and we weren't really sure if it was real or not?
Yeah.
Well, apparently that was real.
Great.
And this holiday, we're getting a PS5 Pro. Woo woo.
How many teraflops?
Well, apparently it's got 33.5 teraflops, but that's only if you're not using the AI accelerator.
Oh.
Then it goes all the way up to 67 teraflops.
How many teraflops does my dinosaur of a PS5 have, Randy?
I have no clue. How many?
And nobody cares.
Right. Okay, look, here's the deal. You know, we should have expected a PS5 Pro. You know, we're getting it actually a little late. We're getting it a little after we got the PS4 Pro in terms of you like align the console launches.
Right. And it didn't bring any good updates.
The PS4 Pro?
Yeah.
It brought 4K.
I was joking.
Okay.
I know. There was a reason for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to hit them with some specs here, Randy?
I mean, the thing is, yeah, sure, but I mean, like it's ridiculous the stuff because it's like it is all almost meaningless. But go ahead, let's just do it.
Okay. It's going to render 45% faster than the dinosaur of a PS5 that you have. It's got 2 to 3 times the ray tracing, 4 times the ray tracing in some cases. We've already talked about teraflops.
Yeah.
It's going to have PSSR, which is not just the postscript of an email, the second one. It's actually called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling, and it's an upscaling and anti-aliasing solution. We're going to have support for resolutions up to 8K in the future version.
I thought that was already on. I have
It was
8K
on the box of the one I bought.
Yeah.
It was on the box, Sony. It's going to have custom machine learning architecture, and we all know what that means. And it's got the AI accelerator that Randy already talked about, which is going to support 300 TOPS of 8-bit computation and 67 teraflops of 16-bit floating point. And we all know what all this means, and God, we need it. My PlayStation is just barely getting by. It can just barely run all those cross-gen titles that we've been getting.
Yeah,
like
we haven't even hardly got any actual games that are new gen, like current gen, I guess.
God, it struggles. Lord, it struggles. And don't even get me started on the fact that it can't run 8K on all the monitors I have that support.
Yeah, all your 8K monitors. Yeah.
Yeah. My box said 8K.
Yeah, mine did too.
What the hell is that about?
I think
Why is this a selling point?
think that it technically can do, like, it has. I don't know, man. This is the thing. You can tell we are not tech people. We are not like spec people. We already mentioned earlier.
Not unless it matters.
Yeah. In this very podcast, we talked about how the generation jump from PS4 to PS5 has felt very small. The jump from PS5 to PS5 Pro is going to feel almost non-existent, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely will. How could it not? And I'm still hung up on this 8K thing because don't sell me a box that says 8K if you're going to release like years later the specs for a Pro update to that device that doesn't even say it has 8K until the future.
Right.
That's dirty.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really is. But I mean, like, I don't know. Do you think Xbox is going to also? We've had the leaks back from the
cylinder.
Yeah, the adorably all digital Xbox Series console that is also supposed to happen this holiday.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know why it needs to, but if Sony's going to do it, I guess might as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little silly. And like, I don't know how many people are going to buy this. Probably us, probably me and you, man. We're dumb. We're real dumb.
If I could trade in my, I'll tell you what I would do.
Okay.
If I could get GameStop to buy my PlayStation 5 and my Portal and cover like
a big chunk of a PS5 Pro,
I would do that.
Well, that's probably what you'll end up doing. I mean, like me and you, like we're joking about this, but we're both very bad about always wanting the new tech, always wanting the new gaming thing. We both bought PlayStation Portals. That tells you how dumb we are right there.
That's the worst part. Yeah, I almost don't ever get buyer's remorse about it, like like gaming stuff, because it's like, hell, it's fun. Like I'm not losing my house over it,
Yeah.
But I am ill as a hornet that I bought a PlayStation Portal. I'm irritated at myself over it.
It's just about useless. I mean, it's not useless. I mean, it works well.
It doesn't work in my house because my router doesn't have the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz connections like separated. Now, I could probably make that happen, but I shouldn't have to do that.
No.
Sony should have sold me something that works with my nice, mostly current mesh system.
Yeah.
And I'm not done.
Okay, I'll let you keep going. Go.
And my Steam Deck remote plays my PS5 so well. So well.
It makes you wonder why you ever bought it.
There was no reason. I was curious. I thought it would be great, and it wasn't.
Go back and watch our podcast where we are excited about it, then we get it and we're disappointed with it. It's a whole, like saga we went through.
It's a whole thing. I can dock the Steam Deck to my TV, remote play the PlayStation that lives in my office, and use a DualSense connected to my Steam Deck through Bluetooth, and use DualSense features like triggers and haptics and stuff. The Portal can't do that.
The Portal has the haptics.
Not on the TV.
No, it's not on the TV. No, it's in your hand.
The Portal feels great. Yeah,
Yeah.
It feels excellent.
Yeah.
I always said that.
It's got a great screen too.
Great screen.
You played all of Spider-Man 2 on the Portal.
I know, but it worked better most of the time for some reason when I first got.
It may have been where you were playing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably
Those
so.
sort of things. All right, we got one more topic we're going to talk about, and this kind of is related in some ways because, like I said, I don't know who's going to buy a PS5 Pro besides us, and who's going to buy this new, maybe new Xbox besides us.
I'm not.
But so we had the market research firm Circana put out a prediction in terms of games. And they say that this year it may be a tougher year and that sales may be down a good bit, maybe 10%, maybe, who knows. They say that things are not going up, which is what it's kind of been doing. Things are going down this year.
Right. And so we turned to you and we asked the Gaming Gig Faithful, we said, how much do you anticipate spending on video games in 2024 compared to last year? Randy, hit us with the results.
Yeah, so we got 13% of people who said they expect to spend more, actually. 46%, which was the bulk of people, said that they anticipate spending about the same. And then 40% of people said they plan to spend less. So the numbers say that, if anything, it does seem like people are planning on spending less, if not the same. The minority of people said they plan on spending more. And I know personally, at the beginning of the year, I wasn't sure how things were going to pan out. I wasn't sure because we came off such a hot year.
Yeah,
we did a whole podcast on could this year be just as good as last year, and we said that maybe it could. I think that as we're moving into it, I don't think this year is going to be quite as good as last year.
I don't either.
Largely because we are not getting a successor to the Switch.
Right. And because of that, largely because of that, I think I will be spending less. I mean, last year I bought an OLED Steam Deck, I bought a Portal, and I bought games. Right. So I don't anticipate this year being, quite as big of a spender. And honestly, I need a backlog year. So bring it on, 2024. I ain't scared of you.
I do too. I could really use some time to play some backlog and just to play some, maybe moving into playing some more indie games. Maybe maybe play new games, but be kind of view the not so AAA stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see that. So
Hades 2.
Yeah. And a lot of those indie games are cheaper. So we're not getting the $70 indies typically. Sometimes, but
they probably wouldn't qualify on the rubric if they're charging that much.
They would not, no.
Most likely. Randy, you already, I think, are probably going to be spending more this year than last year.
Oh, because I've got a gaming PC.
Yeah.
Guys, I've been working through, so I bought a gaming PC. In fact, I got one today. I still got to work out some of the kinks in it. I bought another gaming PC earlier in the week, and I ended up having to return it because it had some stability issues, or at least I think it did.
Yeah. Seemed bad.
I was having some weird issues with just web pages crashing, and it was like just stock. I just loaded it up, put Chrome on it, and that was crashing. So I'm like, I felt like it was a little unstable.
Never played a single game.
Never got to play a single game on it. I was going to Discord and things would just get disconnected. I had the computer just turn off one time, and I'm like, what's going on? So I'm not sure. So I brought that puppy back. That's what happens when you're dealing with pre-builts. I got a different pre-built, and hopefully this one will be better. I'm going to find out. I really kind of thought about building a PC, but I've never done it before. So instead, I decided to go the route of getting a pre-built that was just built by the folks over at Micro Center. They just if you get them to, they'll just build you a PC, or they just go ahead and build PCs with the stock parts they have, and then you can just buy one that they've just built. So that's what I did.
I bet it's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
What are the chances you get 2 duds?
I hope low. I think
they're very low.
I got this one. This is tricked out. It's not top of the line, but it's got a pretty top of the line CPU. Graphics card, I got a 4070 Ti Super, which obviously isn't the top of the line, but it's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be nice. I got the 14th gen i9, Intel processor. Hopefully things are going to go good on it. I hope so.
That's going to be great. I'm excited. Does it have RGB?
It does. It isn't as flashy as the other one I got, which one was way tricked out.
Yeah.
This one is much more subdued. It looks more like I don't know. It just is. It looks more simple. I kind of like it more though in that way because the other one was super, super flashy.
Yeah. Well, RGB gives you more frames, so
Does it?
I hope it's good enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Going back to spend what we're spending. Yeah, I've spent a lot on gaming. If we're going to count the gaming PC as being a part of my gaming budget.
So we've got us a comment here from Derek Andre, who said, "Definitely spending less since I only want to play games from my backlog this year. Except for 3 to 4 new upcoming games. The new games will be bought only on disc, so I can sell them directly after finishing."
Ooh, yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah,
I'll tell you, if that's how you feel, if you're like wanting to buy games and then just sell them immediately after, skip that whole hassle. Just get a GameFly subscription and just rent the game.
Yeah,
and then that's what you're doing. You just have it and then you send it back, and you don't have to worry about trying to sell it and get pennies on the dollar for what you bought it for.
It's probably a better idea.
That's what I would suggest. Now, does it work for everybody? Maybe not, but it seems to work for me, except when the mail doesn't work. That's the only problem with GameFly is it runs through the mail.
And it's like Newman said, the mail never stops.
It's a fact.
All right, have fun with this name.
All right, the next one we got from Dewala Vander Koffel, who said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, Black Myth Wukong, and a few more. Definitely spending more than last year. I mean, yeah, you're naming some games, but I mean, come on. Last year we had more. We had
a lot.
We had some great games.
Last year was full of bangers. DeWall.
I'm not sure about Rise of the Ronin. I think that one looks a little like iffy to me.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. I'm probably gonna wait to see what people say about it. I mean, initially I was like, this looks cool. And as I've seen some more stuff, it hasn't really looked better to me. Mm-hmm. It seems a little janky almost at times.
It does. I've seen some trailers that look like the frame rate was not great. I've seen some stuff where the animations didn't look great. I mean, this is it. Just, what I've seen from trailers. Mm-hmm. I have not played the game. The thing is I haven't seen anything that really made me want to play. Now, Dragon's Dogma 2.
That's coming out like this week, ain't it?
That's coming out on Friday.
Wow. You're gonna beast through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
No, I can't beast through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth the last 2 days because this morning I was gonna play video games, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Our 5.5 hour stream last night video gamed me out. I woke up this morning, I didn't even want to touch a controller.
I know. I didn't either. When I woke up today, I was like, I'm gonna watch YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I sat and watched Mythbusters and drank coffee, and I was like, I am not touching a dang controller right now.
Wow.
So, yeah. No, I'm not going to beast mode my way through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so that I can play
Dragon's Dogma 2.
I am going to play Dragon's Dogma, but I'm going to rent it, so it's probably going to come in a week or two, and then I'll just play it a little late, and the world will be fine.
That game looks super cool, though. I do want to try it eventually.
Stellar Blade, he mentioned in this. Stellar Blade looks great, too.
Stellar Blade, is that the one we got like a super long look at?
We got it in the PlayStation
That's the one that looks
State of Play, I think.
Kind of near.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I like that.
It looked good.
Black Myth Wukong, is that the one that has Goku in it?
I don't even know what that is. I know Wukong. There's another game that has Wukong in it, isn't it? Or is that the only one?
I'm pretty sure Black Myth Wukong is the game about the main character is like I think his name is Son Goku because he's like the Monkey King or whatever.
Oh, we saw that at maybe was it the Game Awards or something? We saw that?
Probably something like that. One of them things we've streamed.
There's so many games out there, y'all.
So many games, so many shows, so many directs, so many trailers. We're doing the best we can.
All right. Well, we got to the end, but before oh my God, I forgot to do the 3 for Dale clip.
Listen, I noticed this at the beginning of the podcast.
You should have said something to me.
Well, if I had, what would it have done?
I don't know. Pull up the old podcast, and we'll just real quick. We'll 3 for Dale, and it's just a couple. People,
pull up the old podcast?
Pull up on YouTube last week's podcast. And we'll 3 for Dale right now. We'll just do it live. It's not that hard.
We'll do it live.
So while Daniel's doing this, let me explain to you guys what the 3 for Dale Club is. So since you hung out with us this entire podcast, we just want to say thank you. And we do that through our 3 for Dale Club. Now, this is not anything you got to pay for. This is totally free. All you got to do is leave us a comment on the YouTube version of this podcast, specifically there. And leave us a comment and just somewhere in your comment include the secret code phrase 3 for Dale. It can be just your comment or you can embed it somewhere. It does not matter. I look for that secret code phrase, find everyone who said it, and then we shout you out at the end of next week's podcast to thank you for hanging out with us. So Daniel has now pulled up the comments. We'll just start at the top and work our way down. I mean, like, I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on, so you're just going to have to...
Today's first member of the 3 for Dale Club is User.
That's D18.
Oh, that's D18.
That's D18.
Okay, see. I remembered seeing this in the past, but yeah, okay. So D18. So first of all, Omaha, D18 loves that we got another long podcast last week. I'm not sure how long this one's going to be, but I'm glad you like the format, buddy.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Next up.
We've changed up the format a little bit for those of you guys who are interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have. We think it's better. Next up, we have... I'm going to try to zoom in on this for you, Randy.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Morris Dennison, who says he's wanting a double shout-out 3 for Dale.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So last week, Morris gave us a 3 for Dale, and it was after we had recorded the podcast. So I was like, we'll have to get you next week on it. And then he commented, so this one, 2 3 for Dale. So Morris Dennison. 3 3 4 4 Dale. That was doubled up.
That was crazy. I felt like last night when we were trying to do your audio routing in Streamlabs and you were doubled audio. That was crazy. Next member of the 3 for Dale Club is Bombs Away. Bombs Away is up here talking about the price of games, okay? And he says, had a thought on what consoles may do with their exclusive games. Maybe they charge about $45 a game, and on PC or Xbox charge $60 to $70. So if people want to think they're saving money, just get you a PlayStation.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't really understand it.
I think he's saying to put a PC tax on it. No, wait. Hold on.
And he also says or vice versa, so I'm not sure.
Interesting. I mean, like, we already do see games have different pricing across consoles and PCs. We've seen, PlayStation, their games come out on PC and then be higher priced, potentially, but sometimes lower priced. It's really weird. They have no clue what they're doing.
That's right.
But we see games, if they're cross-platforms, they'll be more expensive on Switch than they are on PlayStation or Xbox. That Switch tax thing, it's wild. I don't know. Like, would you rather games be consistent, or would you rather them kind of feel out the market on each console and kind of price it accordingly to what they think it should be?
I would rather them be consistent, unless that means the PC version is cheaper.
Okay. So it's all just about what's better for you, right?
That is exactly right. I'm a consumer. Why would I not think that way?
I mean, you're right. I was thinking morally, but whatever.
There's no morals in business. And there's no morals in Sea of Thieves, and I'll see you on the seas, swabbies. Next 3 for Dale member is Tom Derry. Now, Tom is here for us all the time, and Tom says 3 for Akira Toriyama and Dale.
That's right. Akira Toriyama passed away the previous week, and we mentioned that. Big part of our childhood, loved Dragon Ball. Big part of our childhood.
I still follow it. I'm still up to date on Dragon Ball Super. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
So our next member of the 3 for Dale Club is Landon Stallings. He wrote a big comment that I cannot read because I don't have my glasses on.
I got you. He's talking about, last week we were talking about emulating, and he agrees with you that you shouldn't really emulate current gen hardware.
Yeah, if it's available, like if it's being sold right now, probably shouldn't emulate it. At least that's how I feel. So I always felt really weird about the Yuzu, and that was what we're talking about because that was a Switch emulator that was available to be used. I just felt a little strange about that. Now, Daniel, he don't care. He's using Yuzu left and right.
That's not what I said.
I mean, go back and look. He was saying he used and abused Yuzu. He was playing games before Nintendo even started developing them. That's how much of a power user he was of Yuzu.
I was playing games before they were developed. That is true. But it wasn't through Yuzu.
What was it through?
You know what it was through.
Daniel loves just being like, Oh,
Randy, because he knows, and he tries to act like he doesn't know. He literally knows.
I know everything.
All right. Next member, we got Kitaclysm. Kitaclysm is talking all about this, how they missed the chance to get the SpongeBob SquarePants Xbox. But then Kit's also calling me out at the end here and saying, Daniel, how rude. You apologize to Randy's hat this instant, and Kit, I will not.
This isn't even the same hat I wore. That hat actually wouldn't come back around you because it was so offended by what you said last time. So it may be a few weeks before that hat is back over here during the podcast because, unless you apologize, maybe you could leave me with like a written letter I can bring to the hat and show it.
I won't. I like your hat this week.
Okay. Well, good. Let's see here. Are there any more 3 for Dales? Quick scan's telling me maybe not.
My mind is telling me no.
But my body is telling me yes.
I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
I don't want to hurt nobody. But I got something I must confess.
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
Well,
if we missed you, we're really sorry. But we had to do it live. You know, that was tough.
And,
a lot of pressure on me to read really fast.
Look, I put together the outline for this podcast in record time because I was messing with my PC. So I'm sorry I missed the 3 for Dale Club. But hey, we still did it. Next week, it won't be so, by the seat of our pants.
Oh, and you know what? Check out this sick Dale Earnhardt hat. Speaking of 3 for Dale.
Yeah, all the audio listeners, look at Daniel's Dale Earnhardt hat.
I got this new vintage Dale Earnhardt hat celebrating his 6th Winston Cup win. And those of you who are up on Dale like we are know that he actually won 7. So this predates his 7th title. Thank you, Devin, for the sick hat.
Daniel's all the way up on Dale. Yeah, thank you, Devin. I just wanted to make that little joke because you said, if you're up on Dale like we are. And I was like, yeah, Daniel's up on Dale. All right, so until next time, this has been Gaming Gig. Wait, no, until next time. Look, I flustered myself. Okay, until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
And this has been Gaming Gig.
Go Braves!